Hello everyone. Hope you're all doing good and hope you're all safe and healthy at home. Today we are going to start our first lesson in biology, that is cell, the fundamental unit of life. You have already studied about cell in the 8th standard, right? You have studied the different parts of cell, how is plant cell and animal cell different, etc. So in this lesson, you are going to learn more about cell and its organelles, their functions, etc. So let's see. The discovery of cell dates back to the 17th century and is related to the discovery of microscope. In 1665, Robert Hooke examined a thin slice of cork under a compound microscope and saw many small room-like structures which resembled a honeycomb. He called these boxes or room-like structures as cells. Leeuwenhoek in the year 1674, with the improved microscope, discovered free living cells in pond water for the first time. Robert Brown in 1831 discovered the nucleus in the cell. Purkinje in 1839 coined the term protoplasm for the fluid substance of the cell. Schleiden in the year 1838 and Schwann in the year 1839 put forward the cell theory that all the plants and animals are composed of cells and that the cell is the basic unit of life. The cell theory was further expanded by Virchow in the year 1855 by suggesting that all cells arise from pre-existing cells. All organisms are made up of cells. The term cell is derived from the word cellular, which means a little room. Plant and animal cells are too small and are visible only under a microscope. The shape and size of cells are related to the specific function they perform. Some cells, like amoeba, have changing shapes. This helps the amoeba in movement and in capturing prey. Some cells, like a neuron, have a fixed shape that help in its function of transmitting messages. The development of microscope led to the discovery of single and multicellular organisms. Organisms like amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium, and bacteria are made up of a single cell and that constitute the entire organism. Such organisms are called unicellular organisms. On the other hand, organisms like fungi, plants, and animals are made up of many cells that group together to form tissue. These organisms are called multicellular organisms. In human beings, the basic functions are performed by division of labor among organs. This means that different organs of the body perform different functions allotted to them. All functions within a unicellular organism is performed by that single cell. For example, in a unicellular organism like amoeba, that single cell is responsible for movement, intake of food, exchange of gases, excretion, etc. On the other hand, different organs perform different functions in multicellular organisms like human beings. For example, in human beings, there is a heart to pump blood, a stomach to digest food, and kidneys for excretion. Living organisms are also classified into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. This classification is based on their cellular structure. Prokaryotes are single-celled organisms which lack a nuclear membrane and any membrane-bound organelles. Bacteria are examples for prokaryotes. Eukaryotes are characterized by a nuclear membrane and membrane-bound cell organelles. Eukaryotes can be unicellular like euglena, paramecium, trypanosoma, etc., or multicellular like fungi, plants, and animals. Now let us see the differences between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell, the size is generally small, whereas in eukaryotic cell, the size is generally large. In prokaryotic cell, the nuclear region is not well defined and is known as the nucleoid. The nuclear region in eukaryotic cell is well defined and surrounded by a nuclear membrane. The chromosome in prokaryotic cell is single, whereas there are more than one chromosome in eukaryotic cell. Membrane-bound cell organelles are absent in prokaryotic cell, whereas it is present in eukaryotic cell.